Let the countdown begin. The Cincinnati Bengals are ramping up for their trip to Cleveland to take on the Browns in a Week 1 matchup of AFC North rivals. Hello, everyone. Dave Burke, First Star Media Group, presented by First Star Logistics. Bengals head coach Zac Taylor spoke with the media on Wednesday, and we'll look at the key takeaways and react to what Taylor had to say during his press conference. Right from the start, Taylor was not surprised by the direction of the media with questions about Joe Burrow and his status after missing training camp. Taylor expects Burrow to be full go on Wednesday's practice, which happened after his press conference. And from everything we saw, that's what happened. But still, talking about Burrow, Taylor was still saying this is a day-to-day thing. Fans and media have been buzzing about the status of Burrow, but Taylor stressed the two have things covered and have their focus on the Browns.
A lot. He maybe hasn't gotten all the physical reps, but he's gotten the mental reps. You know, he's in every meeting talking through every rep with the other quarterbacks. His camp's gone. And again, he's locked in. He's had several good days of practice now, and we still get 3 more to go.
If there's one player to focus on the Browns defense, all eyes will be on Browns defensive end Myles Garrett. However, Taylor knows Garrett can be a force, but also knows the Browns have other top players on defense and one of the better defensive coordinators in the game.
He's a great player. He's an all-pro player. He's a player of the year candidate. They have a lot of great players on their defense. And you know, Jim Schwartz has done a great job everywhere he's been, Super Bowl winning coordinator. So, yes, Myles Garrett's a great player you got to pay attention to, but they got a lot of guys, you know, that all fit a similar mold where they're high-impact players. They've really got 11-plus on defense that fit that criteria. And so it's a challenge for any offense that goes against them.
Over the years, Myles Garrett has made his share of plays against the Bengals. And what did the Bengals do to combat that? They went out and signed Orlando Brown Jr. Big addition to the offensive line. That allows Jonah Williams to move to right tackle. That's still a work in progress. We saw a little bit in the final preseason game when Williams took reps at right tackle against the Commanders. But overall, Taylor expects this revamped offensive line to help protect Joe Burrow and open some things up offensively. Here's what he had to say.
I mean, it helps. Anytime that you've got players you believe in, it helps when it comes to scheme. So you want to put your players in the best position they can be. At the same time, you're attacking a defense that can change from week to week. So there's a balance there that comes into play just as we go through the game planning prep portion of the week. Yep. I mean, it's to play in big games and to compete and play at a high level for us. That's what he's done every step of the way. I know in 2020, I don't know if that was his first game with the Chiefs. That would have been the first he played, you know, Myles Garrett then. Obviously had done it in Baltimore, but I'm not sure if that was his first game with the Chiefs or not. Maybe it was. Maybe it was his first game with the Chiefs and first game with us. So, but he's attentive. He's locked in. He's doing all the right things for us. So I'm excited to watch him in the offensive line play.
As in seasons past, Joe Burrow missing training camp, that's become the norm. How much confidence did Zac Taylor have in Burrow being ready to go against the Browns on Sunday? Here's what he had to say.
We talk way more about Cleveland than we talk about any of this. I think it's on y'all's minds, but for us, it's focusing on the game plan, and those are 99.9% of our conversations.
The Bengals have made a living on long offensive drives the past couple of seasons. Should fans expect more explosive plays out of the Bengals this season? Or will we still get the same thing of these long double-digit drives that grind out a game? Taylor was asked about that. Here's what he had to say.
I think that's just the overall structure we happen to see from our schedule. It's a little more of the league right now has taken shape that way. And maybe that's because of the explosiveness of offenses. Who knows? And so, again, we're just trying to be smart with how we approach things. We'd love to score quickly, but you don't want to be forcing it all the time because that puts you in some tough situations. And so when we need to be patient, we'll be patient.
Playing a season opener against a division rival is hard enough. Adding the fact the Browns have brought in new defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz, that adds another layer to what you have to prepare for. Zac Taylor was asked about preparing for Schwartz, and here's what he had to say about what the Bengals are looking for and what they'll do, especially in the first game of the season.
There's certainly an adjustment period that takes place over the first game, and that's why you need to be disciplined and take care of the football and get the football away from the other team to give yourself those advantages. But there's things we plan for. Obviously, we've been game planning for a long time for this team, but at the same time, you got to be ready to adjust on a moment's notice if something changes.
The past couple of drafts have seen the Bengals address one of the biggest needs in the NFL: speed. Players bigger, stronger, faster. And we're seeing the results last season from the draft and this season and what they did. Lou Anarumo, he thinks this is his fastest defense. And while it was joked about during Taylor's press conference on Wednesday, Zac said, hey, we know what we've got from our players because our strength and conditioning staff does a great job tracking it. Modern technology allows them to get numbers they never had 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years ago in the NFL. But it's not just about speed. Taylor was also asked about speed translating over to football playing ability. And he stressed players, hey, are bigger, stronger, and faster. So he was also asked about how it's changed the game in the NFL with speed being maybe the number one thing teams are looking for. Here's what he had to say when asked about that, kind of in a combination of multiple responses to members of the media.
Yeah, I think that's how Lou may have interpreted it one way, but what Joey was saying was it was the fastest team we've had in 5 years. Now, maybe that does equal fastest defense in 5 years, but Lou had very selective hearing in that team meeting. But yes, it is. There is really good team speed, and I don't see where that's a bad thing. He looks at the high speeds over the course of training camp and the offseason. So, with the GPS data we have that really Garrett Swanson's in charge of, we look at the player load every practice, and that's acceleration, deceleration, yards covered, high speeds. And so there's a lot of things that factor into that, time on the field. And then also the high speeds is where Joey factors into the overall team speed. You can compare that to years past on who's hit the highest. I think we've got 2 or 3 guys over 22 miles an hour and a lot right there at the high 21 point. So we feel really good about where the team speed's at. Also, a lot of the names that are at top of that speed list are really good players for us. So they're able to play to a real football speed. But you're right, there's plenty of guys out there in the world that are fast, but doesn't necessarily translate to playing fast in the field. But again, I think it's a good starting point to have a fast guy and then help him play football from there. And we've got a lot of good players. It feels like year to year, the athletes are improving overall. Bigger, faster, stronger. Maybe somebody that played 40 years ago would disagree. I wouldn't know that, but it just feels like every year I've been in the league, that has continued to become bigger, faster, stronger.
All right, let's be honest. If there's an area fans always talk about when it comes to Zac Taylor, it's just play calling. Sometimes you're left scratching your head. Other times, you're excited about the play that a Jamar Chase, a T. Higgins, or a Joe Burrow pulls off in a game that the Bengals win. Either way, a member of the media said, hey, Coach Taylor, how would you judge yourself as a play caller and how you've grown since becoming a head coach in the NFL? It was interesting because Taylor had a response. I don't know if people were ready for, but he referenced watching film, I believe it was Joe Burrow's rookie year against the Eagles. And he said, hey, here's a play I talked to Joe about. Well, you know what? We'll let him say that. It's in this response to the members of the media about him being a play caller and how he's grown.
I think you have to file every experience you've had away. How you play teams, how you adjust in game. I think those are all things me personally I've had to learn from as you go through however many years of doing it. That's also the benefit of having the same staff over and over for years because we've all been through those experiences. And so I like to think I'm quick to share with them why I made a decision, why I did what I did. Here's something I'm thinking, so you guys are all aware of how I'm thinking and how I want to approach it differently. So those are all things that we talk about. And, every 17 games that passes during the regular season, you feel like you learn so much about how to handle certain situations. There was a clip I showed Burrow today from our Philly game in 2020 where I said, look at how stupid this is. And we're not doing that anymore.
All right. What'd you think of Coach Taylor's comments to the media? It's hard to believe. Games are here. Week 1 of the NFL season. No more preseason, no more training camp. Looks like Joe Burrow's got the injury behind him. So that's good news. But there's something else you really need to pay attention. Each week this season, the Bengals play. First Star Logistics is giving away some unbelievable prizes. Week 1, what's the prize? 3. You heard me right. 3 signed Jamar Chase helmets. 3 people are going to get an unbelievable prize to put up on their mantle. 1, I've seen them. They're sharp. You have the traditional orange and black striped helmet. You have the white helmet, and you have a camouflaged helmet, all signed by Jamar Chase. All with the paperwork too to make sure they're authentic. They spare no expense in buying these helmets and getting them ready to give to you. Now, how do you get these? Pretty simple. Make sure you check out First Star Logistics media pages on Twitter, or X now as it's called. Also, check out In the Trenches with Dave Lapham on YouTube. State of the Jungle with Malik Wright and his crew on their channel. And Joe Goodberry, Bengals on the Brain, right here on the First Star Media Group channel. Now, we're bringing all this stuff over to the First Star Media Group channel. So you'll be able to eventually have one place to go, because we're looking to build something special. And at the same time, we want you to be part of it. So First Star Logistics has been great. And you want to make sure you do all the little things. So in the description below will be the information you need to sign up for the week 1 giveaway. Hopefully you have a chance and you win one, because I would like to have one, but I'm not eligible to win. So I'd like to have one up there. But these are some great prizes. Each week there's going to be a different prize to be given away, maybe more than one. So make sure you're staying tuned to all the shows on the First Star Media Group channels, and also on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it right now, as things are put out on the First Star Logistics Twitter/X page. All right, everybody. This was Dave Burke. Hope you enjoyed the video. Leave your comments below. We'll look at them. Let's find out. Hopefully the Bengals come back with a win, something that they struggled to do in Cleveland over the last several years, especially since Joe Burrow's been in town as the quarterback. Till then, Hoo Day.